Hello and welcome along to the channel, and we're back on with our 2010 1.2 petrol Vauxhall Corsa because it's decided it wants to play another fault with us. I'm starting to get the impression this Corsa does not want to live much longer. It's been hanging on for dear life, so I'm going to show you what's wrong with it, and then we can have a look at a few of the possibilities of what we can solve with it. See if it's a difficult or an easy fix. Knowing our Corsa, it's going to be a difficult one. Now first of all, onto the problem. What problem have we got? I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show you it whilst we're sat in the drive just with the engine running, so I'll give it a go. Remember, this is on 107,000, so it is literally hanging on now. And it's been overheated several times, and it's had a bit of hammering, to be honest with you. So what's happening is, when you go to change gear, when you're driving along, you put the clutch down and you lift off the accelerator. The revs are actually going up a little bit, holding and then dropping. Now, like I say, I don't know if I can show you it whilst it's idling, so let's put the revs up, clutch in and out. No, I don't think it's going to show us it whilst we're sat idling, but trust me, that's what was happening. It was as though I was keeping my foot on the accelerator all the time. So what we're going to do is we'll pop the bonnet and let's have a little look. Actually, I've just realised I've just popped the bonnet. The first thing to check isn't actually under the bonnet. It's down here. It's the clutch switch. Now here's the thing, I don't know if all the Corsas have this or not. Now this one I know definitely does, because it has cruise control, and I know that the clutch switch is part of the cruise control. Now I can't see it, so I think to make things a little bit easier, I think what we want to do is take this panel off, and then we can take a look. And looking at it, we've got a couple of little hatches here. Let's see. I'm going to take these little hatches off. I think there's a Torx behind it, and then we can take this panel off and we can get underneath, and we should be able to see the clutch switch up here somewhere. There we go. Two Torx, one either side. What were they? TX20, and that allows this panel to come off. Now I've not unplugged it because I thought I'm not going to do that, because you never know what that can throw. By the way, as well, if you need to get at it, that is the electric motor, which is the power steering assist on this, just in case you need to get at it. Now let's have a look and see if we can have a look and see where our clutch switch is. Well, I've found it. It's in quite an awkward spot. So I'm going to try and get the camera in so you can see it. What you want to do is, if you look up there, you see the white square, and then there's a little red other square. Now that little red square is actually the bottom of the clutch switch. Now I don't know if the camera will focus on this, but you can just see it move as I'm manipulating the clutch. I think to get to it easily, what we're going to do is I'm going to remove this, which is the foot air duct. I'm not sure how easily this comes out, but if I undo that end, this end feels flexible. I'm hoping there's a clip and I can just take that out, and then we can get at the clutch switch. Just take that duct off. It's not a screw or anything, it's just one of these. You pull the bottom off and it releases it. And looking up here, I think this just pushes on, well, there might be a clip back here, but I think it's going to come off. There we go. A little bit of brute force. Of course, as usual, angle and position is key. There we go. Yeah, that just push locks in place. So now that's out of the way. That's better. You can actually see our clutch switch. And yes, actually, the plunger doesn't look great on it. Now I'm not really sure how you take it off, because I obviously don't want to smash it or any of the casing. Now I'd hoped this clear plastic would come off, but it feels fairly solid to me. I think I might need to go and have a look at how to remove that. The position on this is awkward as usual, but there aren't many guides actually that show you how to actually remove this switch. Now, what I did remember is from my Vauxhall Zafira, because I fitted the clutch switch, which allowed me to add cruise control to it. And what I remember is these clips come down like so. And if I remember rightly, that's how they release. But I'm not quite sure if there's another clip. I think I might need to push that clip in so that it lifts out. Let me try that. Being very careful here so that I don't damage it, because I don't have a replacement. I may need to take the pressure off the clutch as well and do this, so I might need two hands. Okay, I do feel a bit foolish now. I've been trying to remove the clip, but actually taking the white piece off just by prising the bottom, you can see it's just on clips. So if you just carefully prise that off, then the whole white piece comes off, and that makes it much easier, because you can now see that you just squeeze either side and the switch should come out. In fact, let's do that now. Just squeeze either side of the tabs and then it should come out somehow. You probably can't see much here, so I'll show you when it's out. Now actually I think I've discovered the problem. So the red collar extends down and it should then clear the side, which would allow you to unclip it and take it out. Now you can actually see the red is still in the way. It's not going to release the sides, and I think this is the problem. I think the clutch switch has gone too far in. You see, it's not far out. Now actually these little switches are adjustable, because what I can do is, you see how it clicks and it comes further out, and actually it comes all the way out to there, and then it has that amount of movement. And I think that might be what's happened. I think over time this has just got pushed in. That's as far out as it'll go. So if I now pull on the red collar, you can see the red collar completely clears, and we should be able to squeeze the sides in. So that kind of gives me an indication that this may be a bit of a problem, because it's almost like an adjustable switch. So before I do anything more, what I'm going to do is, now that that's fully out, I'm going to connect it back up again and test it out and see what that does to it. Might also get the code reader on it and see if we've got any code stored, because by unplugging it may also have caused a code to be read. But I'm going to clip it back in as it is and now that it's fully extended, let's see what difference it makes, if any. I just clipped it all back into place with the clutch down and let the clutch out, and it did push the switch back in a couple of clicks, but only a couple, and it's definitely sitting further out than it was before. Let's take it for a drive and see what happens. I'm not sure. Well then, so it does seem to still be holding the revs high, which means that that hasn't solved it. But I was also trying to put cruise control on, because cruise control is also controlled by that switch, and cruise control wouldn't activate. I think it's worth getting the diagnostics on and see if we've got any fault code logged for that switch, or whether they need clearing or something like that. Because before I start digging into other things, because cleaning the throttle body, checking accelerator, position sensor, things like that, this is quite an easy fix if this is what it is. Let's get the diagnostics on it and see what that says. I'm going to use my iCar soft here rather than Opcom. So power on, diagnostics, back, quick test. Was that what I wanted? Ah, yes, that's what I wanted. Not scan, quick test. We've got faults coming up. Ooh, all over. Lots of faults. So, engine control module. Clutch pedal switch B circuit malfunction. Now that's an interesting one. P0833, that's what we suspected. So I'm going to clear that. Now whether that's because I unplugged it or not, I'm not sure. Exterior lighting, what have we got? Light switch malfunction. Let's just clear that. Oh, of course that'll be because the light switch is unplugged, because I didn't put the casing back. Interior lighting, what fault have we got? Dimmer switch, so one of the bulbs have gone, I'd guess. Clear that as well. Oh, crumbs. We've got lots of faults. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do quick erase. Let's erase all the fault codes. Right, now we've got all the fault codes cleared. I'm going to take it for another drive and see what happens. Right, let's try again. That's better. The revs immediately drop down. Let's accelerate. Clutch down. Clutch back up. Like a lot of my videos, it's always worth watching till the end. So, resetting the clutch switch isn't enough. You need to clear the codes as well, because it seems like, I don't know whether it was because I unplugged it, which I doubt, because the clutch switch itself isn't that bright. All it is 2 pins, so it's just an on-off switch. But what I think has happened is when it doesn't read properly, the ECU doesn't like it and it cancels the function, and that's when you start having problems. So you must clear the code. I'm going to put the code reader back on again, just double check there's no other codes come back, but I think that should do it. Yep, we don't have an engine control fault anymore. We do have some other faults which I expected, but at least the engine fault has gone away, so I think the clutch switch is working fine. So there we go. This time not too bad. I thought our Vauxhall Corsa was going to cause us problems, but a clutch switch. Now it might be that that clutch switch is starting to go faulty. Maybe it's rattling about and it's a bit weaker. It's not springy as it should be. Might need to get another one. I think they're about £10 to replace, and as you can see, not too difficult at all. Those two torque screws take the plastic off, and then that white piece you can prise either side, and then the switch comes out as you saw, not the way I was trying to do it the first time round. And there you go. So I hope this video has been useful to you for the Vauxhall Corsa. If it has, pop a like down the bottom and subscribe for more videos like this.